So again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the We to All Liberians movement platform. You're a distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Rather, we are in the business of changing and revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. Again, you're watching the We to All Liberians movement platform. Here, one on a platform that's in the process of, or a business of decolonizing the mind. We started to actually broadcast our previous video, but we did have a little bit of problems, so we had to try to record this video. The essence of tonight's video is actually just to kind of give our viewers a little bit of heads up as to our visit in Liberia. I first and foremost would like to extend exceeding gratitude to all of you who follow us, follow the We Too movement, follow us as individuals. We actually went to Liberia for various reasons, and but for the most part, advocacy, was prime on our agenda. And so we'd like to kind of give our perspective on progress in the country, from a more political, economic, social, religious, entertainment, etc., etc. Our visit was phenomenal. We had an incredible time. There's nowhere like home, but there's a couple of things that happen in the country that's really troubling, and so we'd like to kind of talk about those issues. From I'll say from our perspective. As we all know, the country actually is in the situation that she's in pretty much because of the quality of persons that the country has produced over the years. And as you all know, in one of our videos, we use as a standard example, or just use the parable of the African parable that states that it takes a village to raise a child, but if the village is crazy, that village is going to produce crazy children. And we are not trying to be insultive or derogatory or be demeaning to our country, but the real truth is, I think that the major problem that our country has is actually stemmed from the quality of persons that we have produced over the years. And we believe, the We Too All Liberians movement believes that if we can rewire the minds of our people, or retweak the minds of our people, we certainly would be able to produce better quality of individuals. So, you pretty much will be able to follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and things of that nature. On YouTube, follow us. Link there is We Too, the word We, number 2, which is 2. Our Liberians. You can type in C.Ayiti Williams. You'll be able to see a host of our videos that we made during our visit in Liberia. I can tell you for a fact, you pretty much will be shocked. You will be amazed. We have tons of videos that are yet to be posted. Our people are suffering. We are concerned about the suffering masses. We believe that we are part of the downtrodden, and you have at least maybe 1% of the people that are enjoying the national wealth. And so we were more concerned about, reaching out to the suffering masses to see exactly how you don't have to be a rocket scientist to actually see what's going on in the country. Just from residential to institutional buildings, to commercial buildings, to the streets, highways, byways. It's just so sad. So we'll like to, give you some information Hopefully you'll be sensitized. Some of you will be desensitized. Some of you will get a clear picture. Because I left the country back in 1997, and went to Ghana, where I stayed for a year, approximately 2 years, and then came to the States. My first visit to Liberia was 2021, after my mom actually passed. I was there for 3 days. Did not have the opportunity to actually, you know, get around, drive around, and things of that nature, to be able to see exactly what was going on in the country. And for this time, I was privileged because I was in the country for approximately 3 weeks, and I had the very opportunity of driving around, interacting with the citizens of the country, interacting with those who are in the upper echelon, business people. I mean, to name a few. So we like to on this show that's coming up, and the title of the show is going to be our perspective on our from our visit in Liberia. But I can tell you for a fact that the bad actually outweighs the good. Our people are suffering masses are just immense. Unfortunately, you have a very corrupt system. In the country is corrupt. Like I said earlier on, there's an African proverb that states that it takes a village to raise a child. And if that great village is crazy, obviously that village is going to produce crazy children. So we believe that if we can, just uh, from our culture and traditional perspective, begin to produce more people who have a high quality, we believe that our country will be better. And where we can start from, we have to start from the primary schools. Our children, 3, 5 years old, and build primary education, build our primary institutions, and then we can train these kids. Eventually, they will take over the country. And the new Liberia, like I always talk about, that is not far from reality. It's not 6 years from now. It's not 12 years from now. It's not 18 years from now. It might not be 24 years from now. We have to be strategic. We have to be honest. We have to be sincere. But we have a moral responsibility to ensure that we are fighting to ensure that this country is, if now, is restored back to its, or maybe we can fight to ensure that the country is see where she was, because Liberia is the oldest, republic on the continent. So again, just to go back, I don't want to sound repetitive, but just to go back to talk about how important it is for us to raise, the consciousness of our people, so that we can be able to produce individuals who will be able to contribute to the country at large. I think it's something that is worth talking about. And hopefully on that show, we will be able to entertain questions, comments, because we will be giving you firsthand information from our visit. I mean, you won't believe it. Our roads, a lot of our roads are death traps. Our people are living in slums. You have those who are even in the upper echelon, living in I'm telling you, they're living in slums just because you have your house in a fence, but when you step out of that fence, where are you walking? Look at the adjacent properties. Look at the streets. You see more all over the place. People are living in the wetland. Someone well is actually downstream from a septic tank, and that water from the septic tank is actually draining into the well. So there's a whole bunch of things that we would like to talk about, and the government itself is the highest employer. And this is not something that I think is surprising to a lot of us. We already know that. Those who are working in government, you have one group of people making so much dollar. Minister, senator, they're making so much, and then you have your teacher, your police officers. It's just changed. Drivers are making nothing. Craftsmen are making nothing. Everybody has become merchants. They're selling in the marketplaces. and who's the buyer. Those are things that we need to consider. So that show that's coming up, which is our perspective, the We Too movement, our perspective on our visit to Liberia. Again, you're watching the We Too, our Liberians movement platform, your distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business, like we always say, manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Rather, we're in the business of ensuring that we're changing and revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. There's no more room for excuses. It's about time now we will all come together, and get this forward match going, and I'm really passionate about this. I hope that, these videos that we're making, are making some kind of, they're resonating with you, resonating with your kids. We had the privilege of going to Bentor. We had the privilege of going to Mount Barclay. We had the privilege of interviewing a lady at Temple of Justice. People, you have people who are self-driven, but there's no opportunity. A bulk of the kids that I spoke with, that I had the opportunity of actually talking to, expressed to me that they want to, they have the passion to be something, and the real truth is, because we all came here for a time in the season, and the real truth is we've come here to cultivate the earth, to replenish the earth, to make something of the earth, because God is not going to come down here and get the job done. He has placed us here for such a time in the season. So if we can just talk about domain Liberia, I'm telling you that our people, the country is so impoverished, a country that has almost all of the resources that she needs to thrive. Liberia is not poor, we always said, but the Liberians are poor. People have been reduced to beggars. People have been reduced to prostitutes. People have been reduced to destitutes. And this is something that we should not take for granted. It's time for us to walk the walk and not only talk the talk. So I hope that you'll be able to follow us again. We'll be on YouTube, Facebook. Follow us, We2R, which is WE. Number 2R Liberians and C.Ayiti Williams. We will be giving you a heads up as to our visit. We had a phenomenal time. I'm telling you, we're going to be talking about the country from a political standpoint, religious, economic, social. We're talking about entertainment. The We Too movement is a culture. Our culture. We're fostering the concept of I am because we are. I'm only doing good if you're doing good. Now, what's your education if you cannot take it from theory and bring it into practice? And now you are the lawyer, you're the doctor, you're up there. And if you cannot contribute, if you cannot make an impact in your country, it becomes a problem. I give you a classic example before I leave this line. I was in the rehab area. This is where the president lives. This is where your speaker lives. This is where your ex-president lives. Emmanuel Shaw lives in that area. He steps out of his fence. You see adjacent properties around the area. The streets is all filled with mold. And you have people living there. They're beggars. You have zinc shacks all over the place. What actually, we don't have any strategic overall national plan to ensure that this country leaves from where she is to get to the next level. So those are things that we will be talking about. I hope that you will tune in or you follow us on YouTube. Again, this is the We Too Our Liberians movement platform, your one and only platform that speaks to and for the masses. We're certainly not in the business. We're not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. If you cannot use that education that you have, you cannot take it from theory and bring it into practice, it's of no use. So our goal and objective is to actually target the babies, 3, 4, 5 years old, because we believe that Liberia change, even though we say it's not far, but we have to be strategic. So it's not 6 years from now. It's not going to be 12 years from now. It's not 18 years from now. It's not 24 years from now. We may not be around to see it, but we can be part of the planning process. We can be part of the design. We can set up the blueprints, And then our kids will come and walk into. Remember now, Maya Angelou once said, she said, every time you see me, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So we represent a constituent of people, you know what I mean? We hail from the lineage and legacy of incredibly great men and women, people who came before us. So we now have to pick up the mantle, you know what I mean? We now have to muster the courage to ensure that we are doing our best to pick up those who are down, raise the level of consciousness. Because you have a lot of people who have eyes and cannot see. They have tongue they can't speak. They have ears and cannot hear. So we're preaching we're preaching the true gospel. We don't need to have a church. You know what I mean? This is our church. And that's why we went to the prison. We were in Bentor. We talked to kids. Like I said, we were at Temple of Justice. We interviewed a lady. I interviewed another guy actually on 12th Street. That video will be coming up. And, we had a privilege of also interacting with those who you call Zogo. He's not a Zogo. Let me tell you something. So I was born and raised in Liberia, as you all know, right? I live in Liberia, left Liberia in 97, went to Ghana. I was opportune to travel to the States. The same guy who lived in Liberia, right? And, Liberia with little or no opportunity. And came here, was able to make something of myself. And that's because of the environment that has been created. There are universities, there are vocational schools, there are trade schools, there are jobs, there are other opportunities that we have to ensure that we thrive and make ourselves better. So that's what we need to do. And that's why I talk to a lot of the kids. I told them, you don't have to travel to Europe. You don't have to travel to America. You don't have to travel to Great Britain. You can be in Liberia and be the best version of yourself. And this is what we are trying to push. This is what we are trying to pitch. So please follow us. This video is coming up soon. We'll be talking about our visit to Liberia. You know what I mean? Like I said, we had a phenomenal time. We had a blast. I mean, there's nowhere like home. I don't care what it is, but we have to improve the country. We have to improve the living condition of our people, the standard of living of our people. You know what I mean? And that's very, 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 very important. I look forward to seeing a lot of you, following these videos, the videos of empowerment, videos of more motivation, you know what I mean? And this is what we're called to do. This is the mandate that we have. And this mandate actually for all of us, you know what I mean? I am because we are is the concept. I'm only doing good if you're doing good. And this is how we're going to conclude this short session. This is the We to All Liberians movement. I have been your host, and this is how I'm going to conclude with this session. I look forward to seeing you guys following us once again on YouTube. We too are Liberians. C.Ayiti Williams. Look forward to seeing you. You have a pleasant night. Bye.